Hello everyone, it is Pato912's daughter, Gamer TT 911, and today we are going to be making pão de queijo?
Yeah, pão de queijo, also known as Brazilian cheese bread. Now, if you watched our Allure to Seas Day 1 cruise video, you will see that we ate at the Brazilian steakhouse. And we love those little cheese breads so much that we vowed that we were going to come home and make them. So, I'm going to go over these ingredients here. It's really easy to make. So, I'm going to go over the ingredients, and then we're going to make these, and we'll let you know how they turn out. So, this is our first time making them, so you all going to witness this with us for the first time. The ingredients. This is 4 cups of tapioca flour. This is 2 cups of heavy cream and 2 cups of water and 1 stick of butter. And this was on the stove and it came to a boil, and then I took it off. You can still see the steam coming out of it. This is 4 large eggs beaten. This is 1 pack of Buffalo mozzarella. It's about 16 ounces. And then this is about 6 ounces of Parmigiano Reggiano. That's the good one, not the imitation Parmesan. So what we're going to do is mix in this cream and butter blend. Oh, inside of that was also 2 teaspoons of salt mixed in with that, and that was unsalted butter also. So what we're going to do is mix in the warm liquids into the tapioca flour, and we'll let that rest for about 10 minutes or so. Let it cool, and then we'll come back and fold in the cheese, well, beat in the eggs, and then fold in the cheese. And then we're going to make some little muffins out of them. We got these miniature muffin tins over here, and that's what we're going to use to make our muffins. Those are lightly greased, and my oven has been preheating at 400 degrees. So as you can see, there really ain't a lot to this whole recipe, but man, let me tell you, them little cheese balls was to die for. That's why we had to come home and try this recipe. Now this is going to be a fairly large batch, so feel free to just cut everything in half. And if you don't, I used the heavy cream and water combination because I actually didn't have any milk on hand. So I just cut the cream with water 50-50. That'll get you close to a whole milk. And then I halved the butter because the cream has so much more milk fat in it that I didn't need all the fats that were in the butter. So if you just use regular milk, that would be 4 cups of milk and 2 sticks of butter for this big batch, or 2 cups of milk and 1 stick of butter for the half batch, and then 1 teaspoon of salt for the half batch. So you can see now this here is fairly loquacious, but we're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes, let it cool. It'll start to thicken up. And then when we fold in that cheese and stuff, it's going to be nice and doughy. So we're going to let this rest, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes, and we'll keep this recipe going. Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see here, this stuff is starting to thicken up. It's still warm, but it has thickened up. So what we're going to do now is going to go ahead and ladle in the egg. Just a little bit at a time.
That's a little bit too little bit. That's a bit better.
Get it incorporated in there good. Now you can, if you hear, you smell this dough. It has like a sour smell, like almost like a sourdough. And that's the exact flavor that we got out of those cheese balls when we were eating them in the restaurant. So far I think we're on the right track here. Now, I will tell you about the cheese. If you look at your traditional recipes...
Sorry about the rattling, everybody.
The traditional recipe on the cheese only calls for the Parmesan cheese. But when we were in the restaurant, I specifically asked the guy what was in those cheese breads, and he said Parmesan and mozzarella. And I could tell that the mozzarella was there because it made the bread little soft. And it had the sharp pungent flavor of the Parmesan, and then kind of the soft chewiness of the mozzarella. I'm going to go ahead and get this here folded in now.
That's what it looks like so far, people. Because we just added one plate of cheese. We still have one more plate of cheese left to go. This is the mozzarella cheese. And Daddy just put in the Parmesan. The Parmesan Reggiano cheese.
If you wanted to go more traditional, you could just use the Parmesan only.
So now we are adding the mozzarella cheese.
Alright. Now all we have left is to make these up into some little
Muffins.
We got our muffin tins here.
Here's one muffin tray. And the other one's all the way over there. But we'll use that later. By the way, did you pay him with another one? Did you pay him with the second tray?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use whatever measuring scoop I got here. And scoop up some. It's going to be a little messy, but then just pour it in. That's a little overfilled. That one's going to be, probably take a little bit out of there. But what you're trying to do is make sure you get some cheese in each of these bread balls.
This is extremely messy.
But we'll clean that up. These are going to rise. So just remember, every scoop you get, make sure you get some cheese in it.
Yeah.
Take these now and put them in the oven, and then we'll show you what they look like when they come out. Alright guys, here's a sneak peek at what's going on. You can see those little cheese balls are rising up nicely. They're getting golden brown. It's been about 13 minutes right now. I have my timer set for 15. I'm going to let them go for about another 5. So it'll be about 18 to 20 minutes. But just wanted to let you see what they look like as they were cooking. Alright guys, here we go. That is what I call the perfect cheese ball, or cheese muffins as you're going to be in this tin here. But I just hit my 20-minute mark on the oven, And I'm going to just take these out and sit them on the stove and let them cool just a little. These are best when eating warm, so we are going to break into them while they're nice and warm and give you a first-hand visual on what we think of these cheese balls. But there they go. They are ready. We're just going to let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to dig in.
Yummy!
All right, folks, we're back, and we at the grand finale now. So here is the cheese balls, and I'm going to just pull on it. Oh man, I can tell you that looks just like it looked in the restaurant. Get your own, and we're gonna taste at the same time.
Peel it apart.
Oh, you see how melty and gooey that is?
Just like the cruise.
Ready, set, go.
Exactly like the cruise.
We're gonna let Mama be the final judge.
Exactly like the cruise.
Certified win, people. All right, guys. This is a little special edition here. This is part 2 of the Brazilian cheese bread. So it's been a couple days, and I'm making some Brazilian steak, and I wanted to have some more of these cheese balls. So I made up a half batch of the recipe. Now, if you look at this dough, you're going to see something very distinctly different from the previous time. You see that? It's more of a real, like, dough. It's like a cookie dough. The first batch that we did was really loquacious. And the only thing I did differently that I could tell was that this go round, I took that cream and water mixture right off of the stove, and I poured it directly, started ladling it right into that tapioca flour right off the rip. The other time, it had sat around for about 15 minutes and kind of cooled. So that's the only thing that I noticed differently in what I did, and it made a big substantial difference on the content of the bread. Now, to add a little bit more to that, when I was doing my research on this recipe, I did notice 2 ways that it was done. Some people who did not actually boil their milk and butter, or they used oil instead of butter. If they didn't boil it, it was loquacious. But the people that did boil it, it turned to be more doughy. So I saw it both ways on the internet when I was doing my research. So I'm going to see what this here looks like when it comes out, and see if there's any difference in the texture or the flavor of the bread. But since I was making it again and it came out different, I wanted to show you guys what it looked like and let you know what I did differently, just in case you do this and it comes out and it looks totally different from the first batch that we did. I'll let you know that probably ain't nothing wrong with it. Just keep it going. So that's it right there. I'm going to pop these in the oven, and then I'll let you see what it looks like when they come out. Alright guys, so this is the 13-minute, actually it's the 12-minute mark, but this is right where we took our sneak peek on the last batch, and just letting you see that they are basically rising the same, a little more kind of bulbish on the top versus just straight up and down from the other one, but they're looking just about the same as the other one. So far so good. We'll be back with the finished product. We're going to go a full 20 minutes. Alright, there you go guys. 20 minutes, and I mean, you can tell the difference in the shape, but everything is looking exactly like it did on the first batch of this. So far so good, and the last thing to do is to do the pull and the taste test. So we're gonna take these out the oven, let them sit for a couple minutes, just get cool enough for us to touch, and then we'll let you know what it tastes like.
So everybody, welcome back and to the bread, and if you can see, the bread is all cooled down and done, and now time for the two best parts of this bread: the pull and the taste.
Let's see. Let me see that pull.
All right.
Let me see that. Oh, it's still nice and cheesy.
That beautiful pull.
All right. Now let me see that taste.
For the taste test.
Does it taste like yesterday? Well, 2 days ago, whenever we had it. So it's still nice and cheesy. Put a little piece in my mouth. Let me taste it.
Still nice and spongy and cheesy.
So no difference, people. no difference in the texture or the quality of the bread. So if you're mixing it and it turns into cookie dough, rock with it. If it's still like pancake dough, rock with it. All right, that's the recap of the second batch of the Brazilian cheese bread.